Now, Jurassic World Evolution is an incredible game. I like to call it the ultimate Jurassic game because it's kind of like the culmination of everything that makes Jurassic Park and World awesome. Like, it has several dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures that have shown up in the movies and the show, and they bring it into the game, and you kind of like get your own little hodgepodge of all of these different creatures, and you get to make your own park. It's incredibly fun, it's incredibly awesome, and I absolutely love it. As well as the dinosaurs that are all recognizable. Frontier also creates a bunch of creatures that haven't shown up in the movies or the show, and they also give them a place in the game. And let me just tell you, so many of those designs are incredible. Like, I absolutely love the designs like the Acrocanthosaurus, the Styracosaurus, I even like the Pachyrhinosaurus or the Metrocanthosaurus. There are a lot of different designs in this game that I just absolutely love, and I think that Frontier killed it with them. But four of which that I want to talk about that I'm sure that the rest of the YouTube space has talked about to death is the Feathered Species pack. Now, it goes without saying that these are probably the most accurate designs in the game, but not only are they accurate, they are just really good looking. Like, they're not 100% accurate. There's a little bit of variation in their designs that set them apart from their real-life counterpart. You know, kind of gave them Jurassic Park-like features, which, of course, fits the style of the universe and, you know, keeps up with that continuity while also giving a lot of, like, things that they from the real life animal and kind of integrating them into that and just kind of making a really good design in general. So what I'm going to be doing is talking about each of the dinosaurs that show up in the Feathered Species pack and non-dinosaur, there's one of them that's not, and just saying why they're absolutely awesome and why I think that they are the best designed creatures in the game. So firstly, we'll start off with this little fella here, the Juraholopterus. Now, it's a little neurognathid, which of course it means it's related to a neurognathus, and I was already a huge fan of neurognathus before they announced this guy. And when I saw it, at first, of course, I thought it was a neurognathus, but I really like the fact that they got one that's lesser known, you know, with Juraholopterus. And they just absolutely killed it with its design. It looks so good. The feathering looks really good. The overall build of the animal looks awesome, and probably my favorite part about it is how they gave it like little tufts of feathers that kind of make it look like bat ears. You know, they're feathers much like that of a horned owl, but they're they look like ears. They look like bat ears because neurognathids are already extremely similar to bats. They would, you know, they likely hunt insects. They had the right adaptations for that. They were smaller. They looked very bat-like in life. So making it look a lot like a bat, I think, was such a fun move. And I love that Frontier did that. And it's just incredible. And yeah, that's all I can really say is that I just love this design. I place it in there all the time. And the fact that they made a brand new feeder for this, like specifically for this guy, is awesome. Or maybe they plan on adding more dinosaurs in the future or other prehistoric creatures that are insectivores. But, you know, until then, Juraholopterus is the only one that could benefit from that feeder. And I'm glad that they gave him something because, you know, he's got to eat too. Next up is the Sinusauropteryx. Now, Sinusauropteryx is a big one, and of course one that should definitely have shown up in this game. Now, Sinusauropteryx is extremely important for our understanding of dinosaurs as a whole, because if you didn't know, it's one of the only dinosaurs that we actually know the coloration of. And this is because it was preserved well enough that we can see the melanosomes, which are small pigments that, you know, help determine the colors of these feathers. And so, like, looking at those melanosomes and comparing them to that of modern day birds, then we're able to deduce that this is what Sinusauropteryx looked like. And of course, you get those colorations in the game, which, I mean, it's really cool that they didn't like lock you down to it just because we know that that's what it looked like. I'm glad that they still gave you the variation, like the creativity to make it whatever color you wanted. But I'm also really glad that you can actually choose the real colors that the animal had and place them in your park. Which means that it's definitely one of the most accurate dinosaurs that you can have in your park, all the way down to the coloration. I also really like how their tails are kind of go up. It reminds me of lemurs, which is fair because they do have those rings on their tail, something that we of course did know that they had. So it's just so fun. It's so fun. I love that they included this in the game, and again, it's one of my favorites. All of these are my favorites, so I should probably stop saying that, but still, I love it. I 10 out of 10. Next up, the largest ornithomimosaur that has ever lived, that we know of, the Dinochyrus. Now, Dinochyrus, of course, there's a lot of debate on whether or not it truly was feathered. A lot of paleontologists seem to think that it was too big to get the benefits of feathering, While there is some evidence for it, take for example its last few tail vertebrae are fused together, something that you usually find when a tail fan is present, which of course would be feathered, indicating that the rest of Dinochyrus would have been feathered. Whatever that debate may be, most depictions place it as being feathered. Most people seem to think it was feathered, and so I'm going to say that it was, let's just say it was feathered. But with that in mind, the feathering looks so good on this guy, and I love the colors that you get. I love the way that its arms look. I love that it like has small animations where it's kind of like scratching its throat. I love the way that its face looks. Now, again, it's not 100% accurate to the real dinosaur. It's an example of them bringing a few like Jurassic Park variations to the design while keeping it like really true to the animal. Like if you look at that, you're gonna say, yeah, that's Dinochyrus. Unless you don't know what Dinochyrus is, then you'll probably say, what is this giant duck-like thing? Fair enough. Once again, 10 out of 10. Love the Dinochyrus design. I love how big it is. It looks so cool to me. Love it. And finally, probably the star of this feathered species pack would have to be the Utyrannis. Utyrannis is, of course, another very important find for paleontology because up until its discovery, the largest dinosaur that we had with confirmed full feathering was Bapiosaurus, which was a small therizinosaur. Well, relatively small. It was still pretty big in general, but it was compared to other therizinosaurs, it was pretty small. But when Utyrannis was found, it dethroned Bapiosaurus and became the largest confirmed feathered dinosaur. Because once again, Dinochyrus is not confirmed to be feathered. Most people agree that it is feathered, but as of right now, Utyrannis is the largest confirmed feathered dinosaur. But anyway, moving on to that. It looks awesome. The head shape looks so good. It has the lacrimal ridge. It has the lacrimal crests. It has lips, which I will always praise. The hands are facing the correct way. The feathering looks so good. It's the correct kind of filament feathers that Utyrannis would have had, as well as just the animations and just everything about it just looks so good. And it marks it as one of my all-time favorite creatures to ever show up in this game. And so that's just a little bit of me like kind of geeking out about these dinosaurs. I love talking about that sort of stuff. I will always give praise when there's accuracy. Just let me be clear, accuracy is not necessary for a design to be good. There can be really good designs that are inaccurate, but I'm going to give it praise because they are extremely accurate, but they also look good in their own right. I just think that Frontier really knocked it out of the park. They definitely put a lot of care and love into these designs, especially since some of these creatures have been requested all the way back to the first evolution. Like I know the Dinochyrus and Utyrannis have been requested for a long time. And to see them in the game was so awesome. Seeing that reveal trailer was awesome. Seeing the teaser image on Facebook and all that, and me hoping that that was a Utyrannis, I'm so glad that it was. Because again, Frontier just absolutely knocked it out of the park with these guys. They knock it out of the park with a lot of their designs. Like, let me be fair. I absolutely love so many of the designs in Evolution, but these ones are also some of my absolute favorites. And I just wanted to talk about them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.